the test game for A Time of Total Warfare. We are going to be playing A Time of Total War, which is not Total Warfare. It is the tabletop RPG version of Battletech, where we play the pilots of the mechs and what they do in their life when they're not in their mech. If you know anything about this show and this channel, we're going to spend the next 45 minutes introducing ourselves and then talking in podcast format. We'll then spend an hour and a half making characters, and we might get an hour of actual playtime in. So just settle in. This is exactly what you came here for. And if it's not, now is the time to leave. I want to announce that with the latest FTC ruling, before and at the end of any live streams or videos, I need to state any sponsorships that are in the video. Therefore, there are no sponsorships in this video, but your sponsorship could be in a future video. I am a shameless sellout, and if you give me money, I will talk about your product. How much I like it might depend on how much you pay me. Also on how good it actually is. Have you considered paying me to sell out for you? Maybe you should. I'm Arthur Perkins, and it has been a terrible week. I feel like everyone here is exhausted. All of us are just like, man, this week sucked.
It does.
So let's talk about ourselves and how much this week sucked. Rad, how's your week going, and who are you?
I'm Raddosaurus on the internet. You can really only find me on a couple of different Discords. Arthur's included in Twitter, although my Twitter, admittedly, has been pretty quiet over these last few
You
months.
haven't been posting sketches, man.
I haven't.
We're done sketch.
As we discussed, I think maybe last week, it's on my list of things to champion is to reinvigorate my Twitter. But if you wanted to like contact me, I would definitely. I work with several art clients over Twitter, so I do check Twitter all the time. I just don't. Mine's not rocking and rolling very regularly recently.
I feel
But
like I should
plan
just tweet you right now,
yeah,
just to
I
make
plan
sure.
to remedy it in the near future. So that is one place you can check me out. Other than that, my week rates pretty high on the suckage scale. I can't complain too much though. I always like to temper like when I say I had a bad week. I know that there are a lot of people out there that have much worse weeks than I do on a regular basis. So uh, I'm a pretty positive person, and I like to be pretty positive. So my week was not the greatest, but it also could have been a lot worse. So I don't have a lot to complain about. I have a family that loves me and two children that routinely do not burn my house down. So I feel very fortunate for all of that. So
You know, they say that you don't know what you really enjoy in life until you find out that you don't have it anymore. It's good of you to be ahead of that curve.
I'm trying. I have a lot to be grateful for. So I'm not gonna. You have it. You have my word. On any show that you see me of Arthur's, I will never complain about my life because I live a pretty charmed one. I feel like I have the same like ups and downs and woes of regular people, but when you put it all in perspective, it really just isn't that bad. So
Is it like a semi-charmed life?
I
No.
mean,
All right. Let's
if
try to
only you
go.
could play that song. If you could have played it, it would have been great. If you were so close to greatness, you just
I know,
reached,
Rad.
reached up, and it was just,
Rad, I need you to step back from that ledge, my friend. Cut ties with all the lies that
you were so close, and then you reached up and grabbed it, and you achieved it. You achieved success. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. It's been fun. That's going to be it for us tonight. We're going to go ahead and sign out. Can't top that. But no, that's it. My week wasn't great, but it's all good. Life rolls on.
Life does indeed roll on. The
No moral
Equmag.
story.
How terrible has your week been, and who are you?
Hey everyone, I'm EQ. My week has been freaking god awful. I have some good news, but most of it has been pretty garbage. My week has been just an exhausting, emotional roller coaster of terribleness. My dad has been gone. My mom hurt her back. I've just been like doing everything around the house to help her out. I've just been super busy working on all these discords. Work's been a pain. I actually found out I was talking with Rad on Discord, but in a week or two, I'll be going out to Dallas to go work this really large show. So it's just been a clusterfuck at work. It's been super busy. I've been having so much to fix. But this is actually, at the same time, while it is a pain, it's a good opportunity for me. Because if they start sending me out like this, there's a chance I'll be sent out more often and it's higher pay, things like that. I'll start being more and more busy. You can find me on AP's Discord, Pitbull's Discord, a couple other places. If you want to talk, come and find me. We can all talk about our shitty day together. It'll be perfect. And yes, I am exhausted and tired.
All right, perfect. Apparently Sid is trying to lobby for more XP because he just subscribed to the stream live.
No, I've been subscribed. That's the 3-month notice.
Oh, that's the resub. All right, yeah, there we go. All right. Listen, I sell out, okay? Let's be very clear here. I sell out, but I have limits.
So apparently this is not a pay-to-win game.
That's true.
Damn it.
True.
Here I have all this money, nothing to do with it.
Not a thing I have ever heard before. Someone did offer me $1,000 to kill one of my players' characters before, though. So
yeah.
That's a little different than trying to weasel some extra.
It's true. That's true. I refuse to take the money, but they did make a lot of effort to show me there was an escrow account with $1,000 in it. Sid, let's talk about you. How terrible has your week been, and who are you?
Well, aside from pissing off right at about 19% of my viewers, I managed to piss off in the past 48 hours. That's pretty good.
Nice.
Doing pretty well there. Work has been exhausting, and yeah, I had spent the entire day at the hospital with a little one.
That's bad.
Well, we don't know if it's bad yet or not. She was getting an ultrasound on her stomach area. She might have something going on with her gallbladder. We'll find out in a day or two if she needs surgery or not. So that's fun. But I went and got her McDonald's afterwards, so totally cool there. You can never lose with McDonald's.
You know, Sid, I know that not everyone's as big at I wouldn't say searching deeply on Reddit. I'm kind of like a casual check the all page person twice a day to see what's good. But I do occasionally dip into writing prompts, and there was one this morning called Dad Holla, which is about stories of dads who did dad stuff while they were alive. Go to Valhalla, specifically made for dads. And a guy goes to Dad Holla, and they're like, after your wife died, you took care of your kids. You have earned your place in Dad Holla. Choose your Holla realm. The realm of video games. The realm where your wife is alive again. The realm where you grill steaks infinitely with cooking tools that are always clean.
Video games.
Of course. If you haven't checked Reddit writing prompts, it's actually usually pretty good. Only read the top one. Like, the top one's usually the only good one, but they're pretty good.
Yeah, Soundwaves, those are not hard choices for me at all. Video games.
Unique leopard skin for his mech.
Yeah, it was amazing. I was like,
yeah, I could settle for that if I could get a unique leopard skin print for my mech.
I feel like you're gonna definitely stand out. Like, isn't like the point of a coat to like help you in urban environments?
Really? Really? You want to talk about camouflage on a fucking 35-foot tall, 45-ton war machine that causes a small earthquake when it takes a step?
Yeah, I mean,
Winter
from a distance,
camo in
if
a
it's
desert
not moving,
environment.
you know.
I mean,
have you ever seen Gundam? Like, they always hide their mechs with a simple little camouflage.
Yeah,
They
that's
should all
like
be branded like brown from the waist down and blue from the waist up.
Put a little green in there somewhere when you get trees.
That's it. Some clouds over like their face.
Right over the face. Just
Yeah.
white like a cloud.
It's like one of those things where people paint scenes on ground that look.
Yeah,
If you stand on it,
distance,
it looks
yeah.
like you're standing on top of something. Yeah.
There's
Yeah,
like some
yeah.
trees on his knees and stuff. Like
Yeah. Draw
Best
some people
camouflage.
down and draw some people on the
Yeah.
feet.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure camouflage doesn't work when something's that large.
No, you just stand right next to a giant cola poster and then just freeze sideward in place.
I wish I had Photoshop because I would
Boom,
totally
instant
Photoshop
advert.
like I would put a mech in like a Times Square photograph and then just superimpose like the mech shape of Times Square over the front and make it like a slightly off angle picture so you can see that it's a mech with like the Times Square painted on front of it. Alas, I'm too poor for Photoshop.
All
I think I
right,
can do something with this.
let me tell you about me. I'm Arthur Perkins. It's just been an awful, awful week. I've got insomnia constantly, rarely getting more than 4 hours of sleep. And to top it all off, last night Reddit taunted me with an article about how 3% of people have a gene that requires them to only sleep 4 hours. I nearly destroyed my tablet in rage at 3 o'clock in the morning. It was bad. It was real bad.
Shouldn't do that.
Yeah, I shouldn't do that. My last tablet was destroyed because my cat knocked it off of a tall distance. It fell, hit the ground. I took it to a place to get it fixed. They fixed it by like horribly disfiguring it with a soldering iron, and then the cat did the same thing to it again.
God.
Knocked it right off the same shelf. So this time I've got like a ruggedized Amazon Kindle in a special case to take impacts. I've been playing Fire Emblem Fates again. I stopped for a super long time, and now I'm back to creating a child soldier army.
Again?
The children have surpassed their parents. So like, when you first get kids in that game, most of them kind of suck, and the really good ones start out good, and then they become fucking amazing after like 4 levels, and after like 10 levels, they're so good that you're just like what? One of these kids is better than both of their parents combined.
And then you end up just child army breeding.
I did. You can have 20 child soldiers. But I only can take 13 people onto the battlefield, including my main character. So I have to pick between my favorite children, quite literally.
It's an interesting thing to see that whenever there's any kind of game whatsoever where you can have children, the first thing most people go to is instant child army.
Yeah.
It's like always a thing.
Well, the only other Fire Emblem game I played was Radiant Dawn. And I didn't know that in Fire Emblem, they heavily weight children to suck at the beginning and become the best units in the game. So one of the early Grail mercenaries you get is just this little kid sniper who's horrible. He is awful at everything. I literally couldn't beat a stage without losing him and dying. So I finally was just like, screw it, I'm just going to let him die. And I got to the end of the game, couldn't beat it, and everyone was like, Where's Child Sniper? And I was like, Child Sniper? Jesus, I don't even remember that kid. I think he died on the 3rd map. And they were like, Child Sniper is the greatest unit in the game. I was like, I'm not going to go back and rebeat 40 hours of gameplay to bring Child Sniper back.
Oh man, he's who was the mech? The mech in our game, the sniper from far that was MVP. The one that was after Rad the whole time.
The guy in the urban mech?
Hitman, yeah. He was Hitman.
He was a child.
I'm coming for you.
Hey, that guy was dedicated.
He was dedicated.
He was.
I never even did anything to him. I don't know what his problem was.
I mean, he called you out for a duel. He wanted a sniper duel you, and you wouldn't duel him. You ran away from him at high speed.
That would be like somebody with a laser gun being like, I'm a sniper duel you guy with a stick.
It's like a wizard versus a fighter, and they're like, fight me in honorable combat, and you're like,
Yeah.
I think I'm gonna stay back here. Just cast a spell.
You have a bow and arrow, and I have 17 baseball bats. I don't think I'm going to accept your bow and arrow challenge. Come on over here and accept my baseball bat challenge.
So we we're only 15 minutes in, almost exactly 15 minutes. We need a topic to waste a half an hour to 45 minutes of our time.
I was gonna ask if you wanted to if you wanted that to die with our last show, or if you wanted to like carry that on.
No, we'll carry it on for a while. You know, we got this show. We won't do it next show, right? We'll jump right into playing the Battletechs.
Yeah. Will Lucas be with us then, or are we still?
I mean, I assume Lucas will be with
Okay,
us.
cool.
Hope so.
He couldn't make tonight's show because he's got an important exam tomorrow.
J.J. Abrams has been named the director of Episode 9.
Yeah,
Officially.
and more importantly, they've confirmed that the Kessel Run is in the Young Han Solo movie.
Oh, I didn't see that.
Yep.
Really?
Intense calculations. It's literally
That's
just going to be
exciting.
Han Solo sitting at a computer being like,
He's gonna be-
all right,
Yeah.
okay,
I'm gonna nav a computer so hard.
Linux Lua programming.
Well,
Please, he's gonna freehand that shit. He's
in
not even
the
gonna look at his nav comp.
in the books, it's because he uses like a gravity slingshot from the
Yeah.
cluster of black holes.
From the maw,
Yeah, it goes extra close to the
because
maw.
the Falcon is so fast he could skirt closer to the maw.
That's right.
She'll make 0.5 past light speed.
Fun fact for you, boys and girls.
This is the Millennium Falcon. It made the Kessel Run in 14 parsecs. 12 parsecs.
less than 12 parsecs.
Yeah.
Oh man,
What did we discuss today? I don't.
I love that. I was gonna say Battle Mercy. I love the.
Oh, we could talk about Overwatch. Yeah, Battle Mercy is pretty rad. I only
haven't
played her.
even had
in,
a chance to play the new Mercy yet.
I only played her in like one or two matches, but because the other characters that I wanted to pick were already taken, so I was like, all right, I guess.
Although I was seeing a lot more single reses.
That's her ability. She can like every.
I mean, yes,
18
that is her
seconds, she
only
reses.
ability.
Oh, it's
now.
18 seconds.
Yep.
Yeah, or something. Yeah, she like just reses someone now, and then
It-
she goes into Valkyrie mode for her ult.
Yeah, it definitely means you can't alt tab anymore to go put the next song on the track on. Because that Mercy will just swoop in and res you, and I'm like, wait, was that a res sound? Mercy's ult
Yeah.
is like at 60%. Oh shit, I'm alive.
Yeah, that kept happening to me. I would like die, and I'd be like, all right, I'll alt tab, and I start doing something. Like, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit, oh shit. Get back in the game.
Yeah, of course, it always happens. You get res right in the middle of all of them, and they're all facing you already when
Yeah.
you
Oh,
get
that's-
res.
yeah.
Well, she's so good, and that single res is like, I imagine I wasn't very good at it, but once people that play Mercy a lot, they get like that rhythm down of like every 18 seconds bringing somebody back to life.
It's super strong.
Yeah, it's
Just-
really
yeah.
strong.
I just need
It's
that
gonna change the
Evanescence
entire meta, like,
anime
Bring me to
music
life.
video, bring me
Yeah.
to life footage
Oh
right now.
man, so good.
I would be
definitely,
surprised
like-
if there wasn't already. Let's see. Let's
I
Google
gotta say, I
Mercy
was a huge
bring
detractor of
me
Mercy with the whole
to life.
look at my Pharah triple kill, and then Mercy comes sailing in, fucking invincible, and reses all three of them at the same time, and I screeched
Oh, yeah,
in
there is.
rage.
Mercy Bring Me to Life Overwatch montage posted 2 days ago.
All right, there you go, ladies and gentlemen. I literally invented something that already existed. That's called patent law.
Yeah, and it's the Evanescence song. So
Yeah, I mean, I like the new Mercy. I love Battle Mercy just because of how much of a huge piece of shit you can be when you're Battle Mercy. You're like nearly fucking invincible with complete mobility power. Everyone on the battlefield will look at you because you have giant glowing red wings.
yeah, yeah.
you could just be like, I'm going backwards, sideways, diagonal, in 3 directions while spinning. It's really it's
What I
just so
understand. Okay,
good.
so again, I'm just a console peasant because I don't have a nice computer, but so like aiming is a lot harder on console.
Yes,
Like people
yes,
are very
it is.
accurate on PC. So I don't understand. I'm sure people do it very effectively on the PC, but on console, people who battle Mercy and fly around and shoot their pistol and just miss everyone all the time. Like, I know you feel cool because you can fly and shoot, but you should really just be like damage boosting 6 people with your like extra cool laser now instead of try to kill
Is that a
people.
thing you can do?
Yeah, her
Shit, I didn't
when
do
she's
that.
when she's in battle mode, her beam, whether it's
It
healing
hits-
or damage, it
yeah.
jumps.
It hits
like-
people. It hits
Wow,
multiple
I
people.
feel bad for Battle Mercy doing that twice and going full
Yeah.
PvP the whole time.
It jumps.
I mean, you
to multiple-
can like if your group's not together, you can go ahead and like shoot and then switch and keep because it lasts
Yeah.
a while.
It jumps, and then also her res is on like a way shorter cooldown, I think. While she's
I knew
Yeah.
that part. Yeah.
But yeah, that's what I was like. That you need to, instead of shooting your pistol, you could damage boost like 3 people instead, which seems like it would be a lot more effective. But that's just because people can't hit shit on the console. So you see a lot of the non-aiming heroes on console.
Yeah. That sounds about right.
Yeah, but console you get aim assist
Yeah, but
It doesn't help.
and
That's
magnetic
really-
bullets.
yeah,
doesn't
it's not. It doesn't help.
I love how there used to be this thing of cross-platform plus PC play back in the early 2000s, and then when they figured out that PC players would fucking wipe the floor with all the
Yeah, it
consolers,
was
they
just a
stopped
bad idea
doing
when
it.
it came to games like that.
But now we can't get anyone to do cross-platform without PC, like PlayStation to Xbox for any game.
Yeah.
Even ones where it would make sense, like Destiny.
Yeah.
Well, PlayStation, I don't want to. Sony is having none of it. They just really do not want to.
They even
Microsoft is actually leaning more and more towards crossplay, but unfortunately, I think it has to be games purchased in the Microsoft store.
they took, because there were people that were hooking up keyboard and mouse to their Xboxes.
Yeah, that's a thing now.
Yeah, because of the way like the code is written, it doesn't work exactly the same, but it's still a big advantage over the controller. So
Mhm.
Blizzard came out and said they were going to take like extra special banning measures to nail people that were using like the wrong device basically with their consoles.
I mean, now we have the exact opposite. The United States Navy is giving up $38,000 Periscope controllers to plug $30 Xbox
Yeah.
controllers in on their naval subs.
It's the same thing with most of the handheld launch drones are all going to console controller like type.
Sure, you don't want one of those Steel Battalion 200 button.
They're getting rid of those like the giant, the ones you wear like the harness on your
Yeah.
chest. You have all the little.
I feel like this stream we talk about Steel Battalion like more than anyone in history has ever talked
Now
about
that it's a
Steel
Battletech
Battalion.
game,
Probably.
talk about it even more. So
I know.
gonna lay it on even thicker. I'm gonna get one just as like a prop.
Yeah.
I'm gonna. I wonder if they even still sell it.
I bet they do.
Steel
I'm about to find
Battalion
out.
controller. All right, here we go. They're not available
Oh, yeah.
anywhere.
eBay and wikibuy.com.
$349.
650.
I don't know, Rad. I think you got better things to do with that kind of money.
I'm just gonna find somebody who has
I
one
don't
on
know.
Craigslist and meet them in a shady place and beat them up and take it. Because if they own a Battletech controller, how tough could they be? You know what I mean? Like I feel like my odds of being able to beat them up and take it are pretty high. So
Oh, it's for Xbox though. Yeah.
I'm just kidding. I'm not gonna beat anybody up for that. Okay.
Yeah,
I
you
like how you said for that. Just now, whenever I see Rad update pictures of Star Wars stuff in his backyard, I'm gonna be like, did he beat somebody up for that, or did he make it himself?
I've never beat anyone up to take something from them.
You are trying real hard to word that, Rad.
I'm
That's
just
an
trying to make sure what I'm saying is true.
alarming sign how specific you have to be.
I'm fairly certain what I just said was 98%
Mostly true.
accurate. Yeah.
You stand 98% by your word.
Yes. I'm yeah.
98% of the time I stand by my
98
word.
You just need to do what you do when you testify before Congress. You just say,
100% of the
to
time,
my recollection.
Yeah.
If you
Yeah.
say it's,
100% of my time, I'm 98% honorable. 100% of the time. Yeah, that's how it goes.
Oh boy. Oh yeah. Speaking of Congress, just no. That's all
What?
I got.
Yeah,
Congress.
speaking of Congress,
Yeah.
we're not.
Yeah. Jesus.
even
Speaking
know
of
what's
other
happening.
people you pay to do jobs that they don't actually do,
This one.
I got nothing. I don't know where I was going with that. I've been
I thought
watching.
this was your art one where you like commissioned a whole bunch of art. That
Oh, I
you were
did.
just, like,
But the art's here. It's here. It's finally here.
after how long?
6 months in a week.
Oh, so I'm a couple episodes. I'm 2 episodes behind on that show. So you haven't premiered that art yet? You're
No,
gonna
I
show it
haven't. I'm
this
gonna
Saturday?
make 5 shirts, one with the group photo and one with each character, and hopefully I can make at least enough to recover the cost of commissioning the art.
How much did it cost you?
Like $100 and something.
Oh, it's not too bad.
I actually don't remember. Whatever it was, I had to pay double their normal cost in order to license it.
To
Really?
license it.
Yes,
Huh.
so I could put it on products and
To
sell
sell
it. Yep.
Interesting. That's what
Rad's
they
like,
don't-
I've never heard of this before, Arthur.
Duh.
But let me tell you about my
I didn't
new
get
rate
people
for
to pay
licensing.
Double the cost.
For licensing issues.
I'm like,
generally
all right,
assume-
Rad, I want to put this Total Warfare thing on a shirt. And you're like, well, actually, Arthur, you need to pay me double for it. And I'm like, well, Rad, I've literally paid you $0 despite my insistence that I would like to pay you for it.
That's true. I've never even sent you any invoice.
Yeah, I mean,
I'm terrible. I'm a terrible business person.
You didn't do one for me either. I literally
Yeah.
like hounded you for a month where I was like,
It's
send me
true.
the invoice.
You know,
send me
Rad-
the invoice. Send me
Yours
the
I-
invoice.
Yours I ignored on purpose, though.
Let
Rad,
us give
I have
you
this
money.
thing.
Negligent.
It's called Patreon, where people give me money so that I can commission art specifically for the stream. People don't give me that money, and then I'm like, that's 4 free Mai Tais this month. I'm just like, I just put it in a giant piggy bank until I need art, and then I'm like, break that bitch open.
That'd be amazing. Just
Yeah,
one day I wanted you to show up at a Patreon meeting and just be like, this is what you bought for me today.
Here's your last 3 months payments. This Nintendo Switch.
yeah.
I decided that would be how I improve my tabletop RPG game.
You talk just like that the whole time, too.
Like
Embossed. Like,
Sandaroth.
Yeah,
Dino
like Sandra. Oh,
Sorry, Rad.
man.
What's up?
Sorry.
oh, no, I was just making up something stupid that you would spend the money on.
Plenty of stuff. I will spend money on just about anything.
I just googled ridiculous controllers to try and find some cool.
I got a little Soundwave posting one of the
Yep.
the
Mechs in
catapults
camo.
from Mechwarriors Online standing in the middle of the city. That's not even to scale. You realize that's only as tall as a 3-story building.
Yeah.
That's literally 1/3 of the size of the mech. The leg would be the only thing we could see.
I think it would actually blend better if it was just the leg we could see.
It's like a metal tree in the middle of a road.
It's a lamp. Just saying. No, you won't give me that one?
Nope.
No.
I
Alright,
got
well, I
nothing
tried.
for you, buddy.
I tried.
You and me, we got nothing.
Oh, I could try and find my old Nintendo Power Glove. Got that around here somewhere.
Oh God, really?
What was the did the Power Glove? That was in the David Hasselhoff movie, Kung Fury,
Yeah.
right?
yeah,
He
it
used
was.
it to go
Fury.
back in time.
Hacker Man had a
Yeah.
Power Glove. He'd like type on the computers and then type on his hand. Oh yeah, it was like typing on a keyboard and then typing on his hand at the same time. Yeah.
I still don't know whether that was a good or bad movie.
It's also in that 1980s movie. Was it called Wizards?
Uh-huh.
Yeah. When like the
I don't know what this is.
antagonist at the end of the movie had a Power Glove, and the kid was like, "Oh my god, I could never beat him. He has a Power Glove."
Korewa Power Glove. No. Don't give me that one
the
either.
wizard.
God damn it. Just not giving me anything today, AP.
Swing and a miss.
All right, I'll tell you what I got for you. All right, Netflix.
Oh my God, that was Fred Savage.
Netflix pioneered the game, right?
Mhm.
They would drop an entire season on your ass, and you'd sit down and watch it in like 2 days.
Yes.
And now,
This
having
is
made
how it should be.
billions of dollars doing that, they're like, all right, guys, we need to innovate. What if we released half of a season, and then in 6 months we'll release the other half? And everyone's like, all right, that's a bit weird, Netflix, but let's do
How
it.
very British of them.
And now the new season of Netflix programming, they're going to have a once-a-week release of a new show that they've made themselves over like 12 weeks. And I'm like, Netflix, you're going the wrong direction, man. I need you to innovate, not denovate, okay? I need you to bring it back up here, not down here.
They're just trying to see what they can get away with at this point. They're like, can we do whatever we want?
Yes.
Do we control the world? Yes.
The answer to that question is yes.
Yes.
In the same way that Marvel was like, can we make a movie with a talking raccoon protagonist and have it work? And they were like, we can. So, and therefore, we can now make a movie about whatever we want.
He'll be quirky. He'll always want some piece of body part from someone. It'll be hilarious.
Exactly.
If you can make a movie with a raccoon as a main character, and
I
have
need
it
that
taken
guy's
seriously,
leg.
you can make whatever movie you want.
Yeah, but it's not that he's a raccoon. It's that Bradley Cooper is voicing him. So
I mean, it doesn't matter. They still pulled off a talking raccoon as a main character in not one, but 2 blockbuster hits. Like, well, at that point, they're like, Ant-Man? Yeah, we could do an Ant-Man, whatever.
I still haven't seen the second one.
You haven't seen the second Guardians of the Galaxy?
No.
I haven't
The
either.
fuck is what the fuck? We should be. I don't know why we're having this stream tonight. Y'all need to go get some Redbox and Jesus. That's all I'm saying.
I mean, we can go right now. Let's do this. Stream's over, folks. We're going home. We'll do Battletech another time.
We're just gonna. They're gonna play it on their screens, and you're gonna watch us watch.
You can't do that.
They're doing. They're
we're gonna do
showing
Battletech
our
reacts. Yeah,
our
of
reactions. Yeah.
It's gonna be a 2 hour and 20-minute reaction video.
We'll get to that Jay the American song where he's sending the whistle thing throughout the scene. And Sid and EQ are just gonna be like, "This is the coolest fucking shit I've ever seen."
This is amazing.
They're gonna get to the part where Miley Cyrus is one of the Reapers or whatever. They're gonna be like, "Wait, is that Miley Cyrus? Shit, she was on screen for like 5 seconds."
Yeah.
Lol, Soundwave, you fixed the leg.
Seriously, you need to go and watch. You need to go and watch Guardians of the Galaxy 2. It's very good.
One of the most.
I just haven't had a
entertaining
chance to.
movies I've seen probably in the last I don't know, maybe ever 5 or 10 years easily.
You know, I'm a big critic and predictor of movies, and I didn't see who the villain was for the first half of the movie. Normally, they're like, "I am the villain, ham-handed rhetoric. I will crush you, defenders of the Marvel Universe." And this time, it was just like, who's the antagonist of this movie?
Yeah. Well, I thought it was going to be specific, and no spoilers, but I thought it was going to be related to a specific faction.
Yeah, I agree.
Early in the movie, I was like, definitely this will lead me to the primary antagonist, and it kind of does, but never, like, it dangles it throughout almost the entire movie to like the 3rd act, and it's like, just kidding.
The 3rd act duel was really good.
Yeah.
That sucker punch right at the beginning of it.
Yeah. The movie constantly sideswipes you with a serious moment followed by absurdity and like.
I'm Mary Poppins, y'all.
Yeah.
You saw the picture where he took a picture with Mary Poppins?
No, I didn't see
You
that.
didn't see that one? Yeah. They're doing a new Mary Poppins. I think I got it. What's his name? Michael Roker?
Right. Yeah.
I'm Mary Poppins, y'all. Do they have it? Do they just have the picture on the internet of him with her? Not yet. All right. I can't find it quickly, but trust me. Nope, there it is. I found it. I got it for you, Rad. I'm going to put it in Twitch chat.
Okay.
He's just like, I'm Mary Poppins, y'all.
That's excellent. Boy, she looks just like the original Mary Poppins, too.
Yeah.
She's like a dead ringer. That movie was just so good. I call it Scrubs humor, because just like Scrubs always had like really sad, dramatic moments interspersed with comedy. Man, Scrubs just never gave your heart a break. It was like laugh, 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 cry.
I want to bring it back for a second.
Okay.
Why you got beef with Ant-Man?
Me? I don't have Ant-Man. I love Ant-Man. Ant-Man's...
I mean, it wasn't the greatest. I would actually say it's one of the worst ones, but it was still a good movie.
Oh, you got beef with Ant-Man then, not me.
Not.
It was.
I mean, it's not that I have beef with Ant-Man. It was a good movie. It just wasn't a good Marvel movie.
I would have put it in my top 5 at a certain
Ooh.
point until some other movies came out. I would say, but it's definitely
Avengers, Iron
Are there
Man,
enough Marvel movies.
Doctor Strange, Guardians of the Galaxy 1 and 2. There's your top 5.
We have very different lists, but
And actually, Iron Man should be at the top.
Ant-Man was really good. I liked Ant-Man. I liked that. I felt like Ant-Man was the beginning of, with each Marvel movie, we're gonna follow like a different trope. So like in Ant-Man, we're gonna do like a heist movie. It's not gonna be just. It's not. We're not just doing superheroes. We're taking the superhero veneer and putting it on top of a different kind of story. So it's not just like a generic superhero movie, right? So like Ant-Man was like a heist movie where they do like a cool, man, I don't know, Ocean's 11 is maybe a stretch, but they do like a cool like a heist where they got to break into a place and steal a thing and have all the dots connect and all this kind of stuff. And I thought that, Captain America 2 is kind of like a political thriller almost, is less a superhero movie. And
You're talking about the one where they crash all the giant ships out of the sky?
yeah,
That was dumb.
it was great.
All right.
It was great.
No. All right, here's my beef with that, Rad. The movie was okay, but my problem with that particular movie was that the Hydra storyline was the only thing driving Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. In all 4 seasons of Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D., it's just been nothing but fucking Hydra. They even completely defeat Hydra in season 3 and bring it back in season 4 as a computer simulation. Like,
Yeah, I thought that
we
was
finally
a little...
wiped out all of the Nazi fascist scum, and you know what? We just had, like, we don't want to kill off Ward. We want to bring him back for another season. We want to keep this, like, Nazi thing going. Want some more Sieg Heil, more Hail Hitlers. We're going to make a computer world where Hydra wins, and we're going to throw everybody in it for half a season. And I was like, Jesus, we started with Ghost Rider being amazing, and now we're just fucking Graham Ward. Let him die, man. He's not a good character. He's a Nazi.
I want to have an intelligent rebuttal, but I did not watch Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.
Well, you know what? You are in a good place.
Yeah, I was gonna say,
Yes.
I watched maybe an episode and a half when, like, of the pilot, when it first came out or whatever, and I was like, this is not for me.
It sucked in season 1, and it got a lot better in season 2, and then 3 and 4 were fucking horrible.
I heard that it had gotten better for a time. But at that point, I had
Beginning of
season
4
4
was
was
amazing.
myself.
When Ghost Rider shows up, it's really good. And then it starts sucking. And then it gets worse. And then they introduce the Nazis.
Yeah, to rewind, I really liked Ant-Man. I thought it was really
Okay.
good.
I'm excited for Ant-Man and the Wasp, or whatever they're calling it, where
Paul Rudd, man. Paul Rudd was a surprise treat as Ant-Man.
I'm way more into Olivia Wilde bringing it back, because she's like low-key. Everything she's in is fantastic. She made House better. She made Tron better, and it was already a fucking horrible movie. Like, everywhere she goes, she's like a magical fairy that spreads excellence dust on things.
I will watch Paul Rudd play Paul Rudd, because let's be real, that's the only role
That's
that
true. He does just play himself.
Play Paul Rudd.
Even better when he shows up in, God, is it Avengers 2 or whatever? What's the one that was just out?
Oh,
where he's taking
Civil War. In Civil War, he
yeah,
shows
it's
up.
Civil War, where they smuggle him in the van.
Yeah. I'm shaking your hand too long.
Yeah.
This is crazy.
Underoos!
I know you too. You're great.
I have no idea what's happening anymore.
The battle
Yeah.
between Spider-Man and Ant-Man, where he's like, that thing with the Jedi, where he just does all the things from Star Wars with the wrong names. I was like, my God, millennials probably believe that shit.
Wait, have you guys not seen Civil War either?
No, I've seen Civil War.
But Sid hasn't.
I
No.
feel like Sid should really be outcast to some sort of Pacific island.
I said I could do this show with you, Arthur, but now I just
No.
But not anymore. I can't do this. I can't work like this
He
anymore.
hasn't
got
seen
doubts.
Guardians 2. He hasn't seen Civil War. He's so busy playing Star Wars Empire at War, he's forgotten what popular culture is.
Civil War is my #1 Marvel movie.
He's
I don't
playing an
really care
11-year-old
too much
game.
about popular culture.
Civil War is my #1.
Wait, are you telling me YouTube reviewer and commentator SidAlpha doesn't keep up on popular news and trends?
I keep up on video games.
All right. Well, let's talk about Marvel Guardians of the Galaxy Telltale Games. Wow.
Haven't even looked at.
I think he just threw open his mouth a little bit.
I think he did.
He's like, halt. Yeah. And he's like,
No,
wait.
Telltale.
What I meant to say was
They're
I have
interesting, but they're really all the same thing.
It's
every
repetitive.
I will
time.
agree with that with one exception. Here's my issue. The first one I played was Tales from the Borderland, and it was fucking
I never
incredible.
played Tales from the
Should probably
Borderlands.
back.
It's
I
so
played
much
a lot
better.
of
bit,
the other
AP.
ones.
Here's the problem.
You should back up a little bit.
Oh,
to
you
your
want me to
mic.
back up? All
There,
right,
there you go. There
Fine.
you go. Now, no, that
Fine,
would sound better.
EQ.
You
I'll
were echoing.
Back up as much as
You were echoing.
back up.
You're echoing.
What? This makes
Thanks,
sense.
sir.
Tales from the Borderlands is so much different than all the other Telltale games. It set a high standard for me. I played Tales from the Borderlands and literally was like, fucking Loaderbot, he's the best friend ever. We're gonna go on magical sky adventures. He's gonna push me out of a spacecraft, etc., etc. The music was fantastic. Everything it did had to relate back to Borderlands. All of your favorite characters come back. They have a great new plot. And then I played Telltale Games Game of Thrones, which was fucking horrendous. The only thing that was good about it was that all of the actors from the show did their own voices and acted their characters out. The problem was that all the people that were from the show played their characters perfectly, which meant they were all horrendous people. And no matter what you did in any conversation tree, you ended up dead. So it was very true to Game of Thrones. But at the end of the game, I want to feel like I accomplished something, not slowly died until I self-destructed, which is the only outcome of Game of Thrones. What's it
There was-
called? Wolf of
Yeah.
something?
They
Wolf Among Us.
they
Also
fucked that
terrible.
up. They
Yep.
fucked that
Yeah.
up. The comic is so good, and they ruined like that. I can talk about that one, no problem. It was
Which one?
okay, but it Wolf Among Us. It was based off of a comic book called Fables or something like that. And it was a excellent comic book. Like it goes through all the old lore of like Red Riding Hood, and essentially they had their own world and they escaped to like New York and they all live on like the same block now. And it's all like Pinocchio, all those tales that we heard as kids, and they all live like in a magical community.
In New York
And,
City.
Yeah, in New York City. And I highly recommend reading that comic. It's a super good comic book if you enjoy comic books. But that game, fucking garbage.
The best part is that the big bad wolf is the
He's the sheriff.
sheriff.
He's the deputy of this council.
So Telltale Games in general have trash games, except for Tales from the Borderlands, which I highly suggest you play.
To me, they're just all
Nope, do it.
they're
Do it,
fun
Sid. Do it.
stories, but
Nope.
they're all QTE events. That's all there is.
I mean, to some
Fucking
extent
boring.
that's true, but Telltale Games Tales from the Borderlands takes it to another level.
I have never played a Telltale game.
I mean, the first time I
missing
played
out.
Game of Thrones was actually the first Telltale game that I tried. And I was like, the first half hour, I was like, this is interesting. You know, it's got an interesting art style that I haven't seen because this was the first Telltale game that I had picked up. And I was like,
Mhm.
all right, this is interesting. It's like QTE events. Well, we'll see how the story goes. Story's all right. Story's all right. Story's all right. Act 3, story's crap.
They fucked it. They fucked it up.
I was like, I'm done. I still to this day haven't even bothered finishing it.
Telltale Games is 100% rating on Steam, a 95% rating on GameSpot. It's literally so far ahead of all the other games. I
And
can't even
every game of
describe
theirs that I've tried since then has just been more of the same.
I agree with you 100%. All of the other Telltale games are horrible. You should be playing Borderlands.
I heard good things about The Walking Dead. I guess that was
No,
was
it
that
was,
one of the
it was
first ones.
fucking horrible. Yep, it was bad.
A lot of people really like
It
him,
was bad.
but it's the illusion of choice.
Aren't they like a choose your own
And-
adventure
Yeah.
situation?
Choose
Yeah.
your own adventure.
Okay, so here's Sid. Sid is doing this because most of the games, the choices don't matter super much. In Tales from the Borderlands, the choices matter a lot. At the end of the game, you get a Mass Effect style Who's Left Alive party based on your choices. And considering there's like 20 characters and you only get 5 people to come with you, you get a very different outcome depending on what your choices are.
See, now that would be interesting.
Yeah, it's interesting as hell.
But
Skip
yeah,
the Telltale, just play
every-
Borderlands.
Every other game of theirs that I've come across is you have dialogue choices that give you different cutscenes, but in the end,
The actions the
they
same.
really don't
Yes.
matter.
Sid, I'm right there with you. I'm telling you, Telltale Games, Tales from the Borderlands is a whole different level, buddy.
See, they got lazy. After Borderlands, they just said, this is way
Just
too much
play
effort.
Borderlands. Just play Borderlands, review it. You can thank me at the end. Say, this video would never have been possible without my great fan, Arthur Perkins, a.k.a. APGamingREAL.
You should follow him on Twitch and on
You don't have to say
YouTube.
that. You just have to thank me by name and the Googleable SEO term. That's all I'm
I don't
asking.
know. I think I have some trust regaining to do with around 20% of my audience. 17%.
That's not too bad. You can make it up.
Yeah, I've got an 83% like ratio.
What's the trust? Why do they don't not trust you?
A lot of people think I read too much into Steam's recent actions with their new infograph they put in for the Steam user reviews.
Mm-hmm.
I was focusing more on where they intend on going with it as opposed to what it is right now as they presented it to us.
Gotcha.
And what everyone else is looking at is like, the infograph is great. It's fantastic. It provides us a lot of, provides us with a lot of useful data. And it's like, yes, it does. And that part is
What
fantastic.
are they doing with that data?
But what they're going to be doing with it is not.
Like,
Because
oh,
they
it's
stated in their announcement, this is part of their phasing in player-specific reviews, which means they're going to be using an algorithm for the review scores and how they present those to you.
I see.
Which a lot of people aren't noticing that, and I touched on it in my video, but not a lot of people, because it was right at the very end.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't think I really explained it well enough as to what was going on there. But it's a stepping stone. What they're doing is they're packaging this really great, cool thing that gives people visibility, and it gives people a little bit of choice in whether they want to care about like review bombs and things or not. And all that's well and good. That's fine. That's fantastic. But where they're going to be going with it is not. And so a lot of people are upset with me about that because they think I'm jumping at shadows.
Well, Sid, I have a stepping stone to take us from algorithms back to starting to play this game. One final topic of discussion: Google and YouTube. You see, as I'm sure you're aware, Sid, but maybe not everyone that's watching or even on the cast is aware, YouTube has been flagging LGBT, certain conservative videos, even all of the pro-ZD videos being released as advertiser unfriendly, and no one could figure out why. YouTube spent 8 months analyzing the issue and came back with the AI we set up to do that. We don't know why it made this choice, so I guess we aren't responsible for it. And my answer is, if you don't know why it's doing that, why are you still letting it do that for 8 months?
Yeah. It's well, see, it was YouTube has always been going towards this sort of, this progressive left mindset in a lot of areas.
Maybe.
With very, very social justice-y style thing with their YouTube creators club and everything like that.
But if
Is
their
very,
AI is
very
doing the
focused on that.
opposite, if their AI is
No,
literally
their AI
saying,
isn't doing the opposite. Their
no,
AI
AI is literally like, oh, you're talking about LGBT content? Advertiser
Oh,
unfriendly.
hate speech. It's labeled as hate speech.
My God.
That's why it's labeled as hate speech. That's why it's flagging it. They just don't know why it came to regard anything discussing that, no matter what, as hate speech. But it is.
AIs are dangerous, man. And not in like
That's
a
why
fucking...
I'm sitting here thinking, it's like I'm looking through all this stuff, and I have a PDF that I was planning on talking about at some point where they outline all of the community guidelines and everything that their YouTube creator or their YouTube I can't even remember what it's called, where people like go through and flag videos for them.
Their moderator system.
Yeah.
Yep.
And looking through that, I was like, whew, my channel is like designed perfectly to be safe from this stuff. So I'm talking about
Well,
gaming content, which is prioritized. I don't do a lot of cursing in my videos. I don't have clickbaity thumbnails. I don't talk about, hot button topics like politics and things like that. It's like, I'm just
shit, I've already broken
jumping the
all
shark.
of these. I'm just like having flashbacks. Boom. Remember we talked about Congress earlier. Boom. We're not actually playing a game. Boom.
Yeah, so it's like
We're talking
everything
about
my
how
channel is just.
We're talking about how the AI is bigoted and unfriendly. Boom. I put this on YouTube. Within 6 hours, it's already marked as unadvertiser friendly. We got programmers in the audience now. All right. Let's get started. I should probably write the time down so that people who want to skip the intro will be able to get there.
After 55 minutes?
51 minutes, 23 seconds. We're getting started now. This is Battletech, A Time of War. It's related to Battletech Total Warfare, the tabletop war game, etc. And we're going to make some characters and do some things. Hopefully we were able to use part of the intro and part of the waiting for Rad to get here to prepare characters, but maybe not. Who knows? We're going to be playing humans, because that's the only race in Battletech, and if someone tells you aliens exist, they're wrong, because that book is dumb.
Oh, man.
And
I had just read the part where it's like, if you're a human...
what if it's from out beyond the
I'm like,
periphery?
It
It's
is...
just-
no,
Yeah.
it's...
You could
Okay,
be a not human? I got all excited.
okay, here it is.
This is like Volvo
They have
all over
over
again.
100 novels, not even the source books. They have over 100 novels.
Mhm.
And in exactly one of them, there's a book called Far Country. And the plot of the book is, in order to travel between star systems, you have to use a Kearney-Fachita drive to tear a hole in the universe and make a jump.
Folding.
Most of the time, jumps are successful, enough that interstellar commerce and everything about it relies on making jumps. However, occasionally you'll have a misjump. Several things can happen. You'll arrive at your destination far later than you expected. You'll arrive in the wrong place. You won't jump at all. Or you'll explode and die. Or you'll never be heard from again. What happens in the Far Country is a jump ship misjumps to an unknown star system, so it's way outside of the inner sphere. And they arrive on a planet full of aliens and discover actually someone had misjumped here before 200 years prior, and they're all dead because the aliens ate them or something like that. No one likes Far Country. It's a terrible, awful book, and no one gives a shit about aliens. We're here to talk about humans riding in giant battle. Okay, fuck you, Rad. Fuck you if you're aliens. If you want aliens, let's talk about the cleaners. Let's not talk about the cleaners.
I googled Battletech aliens and I didn't get anything.
Just Google Far
Yeah,
Country. Battletech Far Country.
Okay.
Yep.
It's because people come to Battletech for the giant mechs,
Yeah,
not for
not
the
for the
little green
aliens.
men.
I'm pretty sure they're like neck beak. They're
Oh, yeah.
called the Tetatite. Yeah, they're literally like sentient
interesting.
bird people.
This must be like one of the dozen books that I've missed, and I'm
I
thankful
choose my
for it.
characters strictly based off aesthetics when I choose character race, and this aesthetic does not appeal to me.
Really? The
Carry on.
rainbow hawk doesn't appeal to you? Being a spear-wielding rainbow hawk?
I have a pretty broad wheelhouse. This is not in it.
Great. Excellent. I'm glad we're all on the same page.
God damn it, Rad.
I could talk about Battletech, but we're not going to. Instead, we're going to jump in and make some characters.
Talk about Macross for an hour.
No, let's not talk about Macross. Macross is terrible and awful. Seriously. We could sum up why Macross is bad in one sentence. Someone decided eating a giant floating tuna fish head that's been irradiated in space would be a safe thing to do when they were stuck inside a city that turned into a starship. That is the plot
Okay.
summary of the first 10 episodes of Macross, and it is fucking awful. They should have
Okay,
died
You got me there.
horribly from eating irradiated space tuna. Giant irradiated space tuna.
What are we making these character sheets on?
I sent that in the Discord. There is a
Alright.
special Excel sheet. I don't know if it works, and if it doesn't, then it's probably EQ's fault.
Make sure you only fill out the green areas as it says at the
Yep,
top.
make
Only
sure
edit the
to
squares
make a-
marked with green backgrounds.
Yep, make sure to make a copy of it so that you can fill it out on your thing and not my thing.
Fill out your copy. Got it.
Yep, fill out your copy. Excellent. I think character creation starts on page 34. We have a number of attributes, which are strength, body, reflex, dexterity, intelligence, willpower, charisma, and edge. Edge doesn't mean you're like deviant warlock. Edge means that...
God damn it. Why'd you get my hopes up?
He's never going to watch this video, which is the
I
best
mean,
part.
Yeah,
He
he
doesn't watch any of your videos. Oh my god.
I'm totally gonna
Yo.
mention it to him later too.
If
Well, I
you're a
wanted to
rat,
max
just
out
get
that
lost.
just
But now,
It's like
I'm
Edge-
literally gonna be like, Devi, I know you don't watch his episodes, but please, like, just the first 5 minutes of this episode, watch
after
it.
Wait,
you skip the
He never
intro.
watches any of the episodes.
No,
then
he
why
doesn't.
No,
was
He
he?
was part of
No.
the play-by-post only crew that
Yeah.
only did the play-by-post.
He doesn't watch anything, to be honest, though.
He talked about it a lot.
Fine.
He was very quick to explain that.
Yeah, I remember
He
as a
watched
joke, I
Channel.
added to one of my poll options. I added, "No, I don't even watch the show," and like 19 people voted in, and that was when I was like, you know what? Fuck play-by-post.
Yeah.
I can't believe I do all this work for my audience, and you're not even part of it.
Yeah.
So-
not even contributing in any way for anything.
Let's bring it back to Edge. Edge is not a measure of how edgy you are. Edge is not a measure of how dark you are,
So
or if your
disappointed.
burning blood
Yeah.
burns in your shadowy soul.
There
So
goes my
disappointed
plan.
right now.
Edge represents your luck, which allows you to re-roll rolls or
Ooh,
add
still fine
your
with that.
edge stat to your rolls.
That's gonna be
I'm
the primary
I-
stat.
I'm dumping an edge.
Typical anti-GMO bullshit.
Wait,
I
You get-
love chat sometimes.
You
I
get
really
traits, you get sub skills, and here's the most important part. Since we're playing these characters next week in Battletech, the vehicle score and custom vehicle and own vehicle scores that you have as traits at the end of this are going to be choosing what vehicle you're going to be piloting. So if you go full edgelord and don't have enough vehicle, you might just be piloting an urban mech, which we've
Wait,
already
what?
seen moves at super slow speed.
what was the vehicle stat? I missed
Your
that.
vehicle stat is a trait. So the higher your vehicle trait is, the higher you get to roll on the Battlemech wait list for what
Mhm.
kind of mech you're going to get.
Okay, I only
Uh,
got 2 abilities, so now I should
Yep.
probably. Okay.
We're still going through all the actions and stuff like that. Each specific skill has a target number you need to roll against, and you add your skill against that.
Alright.
This is going to get really complicated right here, so I'm going to explain it slowly. And if you need me to explain it a second time, I will. And if you need to read it, it's on the bottom of page 40. The higher your gunnery and piloting stats are in a time of war, the lower your stats are in Total Warfare. So in Total Warfare, you remember the average gunnery skill is 4, and the average piloting skill is 5.
Yeah.
All right. The skill hit in this game, your target number is 8, which means that a normal Mechwarrior will have a gunnery skill of 4 because 8 minus 4 is 4.
Yeah.
And they will have a piloting skill of 3 because 8 minus 3 is 5, which means in Total Warfare, you have a piloting of 5 and a gunnery of 4. I think we might have lost Rad, or maybe you're just tired.
No, you lost me, but it's not your fault. I didn't listen to the first half of what you were saying. I was too busy having a meltdown over.
You're a
Satan's
school teacher, right?
Yeah, but my attention span is awful
All right.
unless I'm the one doing the talking.
We'll
so.
go back again. And
I
if
got
you
the
need it,
gist. I understand.
your score is your score in Total Warfare is whatever your current skill is, 8 minus that skill. So the higher your gunnery skill is in a time of war, the lower it is in Total Warfare. And some of you might be thinking, what if you have higher than an 8 skill? Do you get a negative skill in Total Warfare? No, you don't. That's not possible.
So 8's the highest you can go.
8 is I think 7's. It's not that. I'm sorry. It's not that 8's the highest you can go. It's that in Total Warfare you can't go below a 1, right? You physically can't roll 2 dice and ever have less than 1 because the lowest you can have is 2.
Yeah, so you could
Total
actually go up to 6 and be fine. You never have to roll.
Total Warfare is in Mech,
Yes.
and Time of War is
It's
out of
Mech.
Mech.
Yeah.
Yep. It's at the bottom of page 40 if you need to read it. They explain it.
So you want your piloting and gunnery to be as low as possible.
You want your pilot and gunnery to be as high as possible when you make your character in a time of war, because your Total Warfare, your in-mech skills, are equal to 8 minus your current skill in a time of war.
Okay.
So the higher your skill rating is, the lower your number is going to be. Right.
Yeah, it just goes through a calculation and it comes out the it's still the better. Like
whatever your skill,
higher number if it's
in
good
Total Warfare, you want your numbers to be low, and in the
Yes.
tabletop role-playing game we're about to play, you want your numbers to be high.
But it's not a sacrifice. If it's good in one, it's good in the other. It's just
Yes,
represented
that's correct.
differently numerically. Okay,
Yep.
I understand.
It's
not
their
a balance- it's not a
it's just
balancing act.
the way the die rolls are made. They're calculated differently.
I understand.
Is the only difference.
All right.
Everything makes
So,
100% sense to me all the time.
character creation starts on page 48 after a nice short story. Let's start with character concept. For most people, it's Mechwarrior. For some people, it's as complex as a noble scion, expelled from the family when she refused to marry against her will, turned mercenary, tanker, and privateer. Does anyone have a concept they want to bring to this?
48 is the first. Yeah. Okay.
I know me and Lucas wanted to be the brothers. We wanted to be
That's
the
true.
Baxton, the Bear. Like he was like Bear Baxton, and
You
I
guys
was like
wanted
Brad
to be
Baxton.
born in Ham's Hammers, the mercenary.
in Ham's Hammer. Yeah.
Yep. Okay.
I think that was one of the things that we wanted.
And
we
you
wanted
want to be Mechwarriors, not aerospace pilots, not vehicle pilots, not a specialist, not a spy, not a guy with a gun.
Why don't we let him be a mech? Because I know he really want to be a mech warrior, and I'm gonna be a spy. Sounds interesting to me.
But how are you going to play on the battlefield next session as a spy?
That's a
you should
great question.
You should have some vehicle skill of some kind, whether it's like VTOL, vertical takeoff landing, or
is there like
light
is
mech
there
or something?
can I be like a pterodactyl, like one of those flying things, and like latch onto a mech and then spy in and no? Oh well, that'd be ballin'.
All right.
See, Rad gets it.
Technically,
You got my hopes
EQ.
up like that was a
Technically, what you are saying is possible, but not in the era we're playing in. You
Gotcha.
can play a trooper that is part of a battlesuit squad, whether it's an elemental or something like that. They're like 1-ton little mini dudes in suits that have rocket packs on their back and jump jets and stuff. And some of them
those
do
one
have
guys you
little
one shot.
glide wings. Yeah. But solo, they're fucking awful. Literally, they're horrifying and terrible and awful. And in small clusters, they're horrifying, but only because they can rip you out of your mech.
They're like the TIE Interceptor of the Battletech world.
Yes, they are the TIE Interceptor of the Battletech world.
Not scary by itself. Only scary in swarms.
Gotcha. All right. Well, then
okay.
I don't think a spy would work then.
Can I ask some general questions?
Yes.
So we're talking about character concept.
Yep.
And when you ask like what's your skill set, are these different classes in this game? I'm gonna be as usual. I will be the avatar of the audience that has no idea what's happening. Conveniently.
You're the slightly beige tanned white male protagonist.
Yes.
Probably has a beard. Is voiced by Nolan North in 2015.
Right. I have played MechWarrior games in my youth, so
Excellent.
I'm familiar with the broader sense of. I know what MechWarrioring is. I know it as a verb.
All right,
But
thanks,
as
Nathan
far
Drake.
as far as the setting goes, I'm not nearly as well versed as you fellas seem to be.
I'm not.
There are two
So-
ways to make characters in this game. The first way
Okay.
sucks, and the second way is also sucks, but it sucks less. We're gonna do the second way, which is
Sounds
you
close.
buy modules. Those modules will have traits and skills associated with them. Some of them will have prerequisites. So, like for spy, you have to have a certain intelligence rating
Okay,
and a
sure.
certain connections rating. You don't
But you're
have to
saying-
have it at the time you buy that module, but when your character is completed, you must read the prerequisites of everything along the way. You get as close to 5,000 as you possibly can, and then once you're there, you can spend whatever leftover XP you have to fill in gaps.
Okay. Is there how much of what you build at character creation is set in stone afterwards?
Everything.
Like for everything. Okay, so like for example, in the Star Wars RPG, your ability traits cannot change after character creation. Like they cannot increase or
Oh no,
decrease.
you definitely can, but it's over
Okay.
time, right? And we're just playing a one-shot here to
So,
test
like, another
out whether this
example
system is horrendous or whether we could actually play it for the future. So,
Okay.
rather than have a stat per se, you're not going to have a 6 in strength. You're going to have a 625, which is how much XP you invested into it. Once your 625 reaches 700, you now have a 7 strength.
Got it. Understand. So in going back to being a spy or a mech warrior or a specialist
Or a vehicle user,
Generally
or a guy in
speaking,
an
if we-
aerospace thing, or a
or
tanker.
a pterodactyl pilot,
That's still not
generally
never going to be a thing. I know
generally
you're a
speaking-
dinosaur racer.
don't we? Yeah, I am. Don't we have to all be mech warriors then? If we're
Not
all going-
necessarily. I mean,
piloting
it'd be
this?
nice if everybody was a mech warrior, but if someone was really like, listen, Arthur, I heard about these things called Rommel tanks, and I want to pilot one really bad. This is basically only Sid, who's like, I've played mech warrior. I know about Rommel tanks. Wait, Von Luckner? That's great. Typhoon urban assault vehicle, that gets an AC-20, and you can just roll it right up next to somebody and rip their armor off.
But
Yeah,
could you not?
it's
Could
fantastic.
you not be a mech warrior pilot and also a spy, or
You
does
can,
that not really
certainly.
work out?
Yeah, you can.
It's possible.
I feel like I want to be like the Viva la Resistance. I want to be the French guy that sneaks in, steals one of the mechs, blows it all up for. No.
I love everything about what you just said.
All right, let's.
Can I also have one of the jet things so I can like swoop in if I
He's
need
like,
to?
all
Latch
right,
on
I want to be a mech warrior. I
Yeah.
want to be a Battletech support specialist, or a Battlesuit
and a
support
spy.
specialist, and I also want to be a spy. I'll tell
Yeah.
you what, we're gonna look at these
We're
modules,
gonna
and we're gonna
try.
try to make it happen. It's not
That
gonna
sounds
work.
cool to me. I
We'll
want to
get as-
do that. That's
We'll
what I
get
want
as
to
It kinda
do.
close
sounds
as
like-
possible.
It kind of sounds like we're all going to be mech warriors as a base, and then maybe, or like you said, some sort of pilot of something as a base.
Yeah,
And then maybe something else if we want, kind of
I-
situation.
I like
Right.
the idea. If you get a spy mask on a mech, like it change, no one knows.
That's not how it works.
You just have, like,
It's like Transformers when I put it on.
you're in an atlas, but on your face, like there's like a kit box painted on your. You just register as kit box.
No, it's a dasher. You fucking.
Oh man.
Yeah.
Oh my
Sir, we're
God.
detecting a 100-ton object coming before us. I don't know, Sergeant. I'm looking visual inspection. It looks like a dasher.
Yeah.
So it's
Yeah.
sort of got 5 laser turrets,
Nothing to worry about.
10 meters tall. It's no big deal.
Our wall will stop it.
Wow, that's some Attack on Titan shit right there. Our wall
Yeah.
will stop it.
Stop it,
Let me
yep.
tell you about how often they rely on that in the show.
Yeah.
No one's ever breached this wall. 10 seconds later,
It's
my
later.
God, they breached the wall. Then
But
they're
if you
like,
decide,
later that episode, they're like, no one's ever breached the second wall. And they're like, fuck, shit, they broke the second wall.
yeah.
They breached the second wall.
End of season 1, they're like, no one has ever broken the inner wall. Of course the inner wall gets broken.
One shows up in the inner wall.
Oh my God. Fucking Attack on Titan. Anytime someone says they've never
They-
done this,
they jinx it.
immediately, they're
They
like,
jinx it.
there's never been an intelligent Titan before.
They're
Stop saying
like,
there's never been
Titans
any-
will never show up here. Big fucking Titan appears out of nowhere.
Aaron Yeager, you'll never be able to use your 3D maneuvering gear. 10 seconds later, it's like, oh shit, my belt buckle was broke. Actually,
Yeah, you're
I'm
actually
really good with it. Yeah.
You're actually even better than normal.
I can't believe you were able to balance like that with a broken buckle. You're one of the best warriors I've ever seen, Yeager.
Should have been impossible.
All right. So we need to flip to page. Let's see. It tells you have to spend at least a certain amount. Yep, here it is. It's page 52. We start at stage 0 affiliation. We're not going to allow any clan affiliation because the game takes place in 3047. You eat your sphere, which means you're not born in a test tube as a clone of your father
Oh man.
or mother.
Damn it.
Affiliation.
First no aliens, then no pterodactyls, and now no dad clones.
He said no. There's the mecha pterodactyl thing. You jump onto someone's mech.
It's a battle suit, okay?
Battle
Yeah, but
suit. It's mecha battle suit. We're good
But
to
it
go.
doesn't
It's not a
exist.
mecha. It's just a battle suit, and there's no pterodactyls involved.
I mean, if I can't,
I can pretend to be one.
if
in
I
my
can't
head.
be Vulture from Spider-Man, I don't know what I'm even doing. here.
Listen, we've already talked about this, but I really want to say Vulture is one of the best villains they've ever
He
had.
is.
in
Oh
Marvel
no, I
Spider-Man.
100. We don't agree on everything, but I agree. He's best
We do.
best Marvel villain to date, hands down.
Easily,
Like
agree
far and
completely.
away.
Yep.
And that's what I told my dad. My dad was bummed out. We had a conversation just the other day. He's like, I didn't get to see it in theaters. I'm like, well, that sucks. You missed out, but still definitely see it because best villain in any comic.
All
book
the other
movie.
Marvel villains are just evil versions of the hero.
pretty much.
And then Spider-Man, instead of fighting his villain, he fights Iron Man's villain, which is why he's not an evil version of him. He's
Yeah.
still just an evil version of Iron Man.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so when you pick your affiliation, you're going to pick one of the great houses or mercenaries or periphery realm or however you want to do that. And then you can further pick a sub-affiliation. So each great house is related to a major nationality. The House Kurita of Draconis Combine is Japanese, but their sub-affiliations are Russian and Arabic. And
But we have an affiliation of none, though, right?
you can be an affiliation mercenary, which means you're born in a mercenary unit. And that's true for you and Lucas, but it might not be true for Rad and Sid. Because who knows where they were born at.
So the choices are high house or mercenary. Give me like a top 5.
Yeah, so they're all listed from page 54 onward.
54
Capellian Confederation, which is China. Draconis Combine, which is Japan. Federated
go.
Sons, which is French, British, America, kind of America, but not really. Free Worlds League, which is the people who wrote this game's version of America, which isn't very close to what actual America is, because it's also Austria. And the Lyran Alliance, which is Germany.
What is the most Texan?
Isn't it the Republic
most-
one as well?
Most
The
Texan?
free-
Yes.
I'm glad you asked, Raddosaurus. As a matter of fact, in the Free Worlds League, there are a trio of worlds called the Intendancy of New Spain. And they include Gallisto, Ceres, and I can't remember the third one. But bear with me here. It's not like out of 1,000 fucking planets I can remember all 3 of the Texan ones. But they were settled by Hebrew pilgrims, Russians, and Texans, and the 3 cultures combined with the local Native American populations into a giant fucking mess. And they have a mercenary unit that protects those worlds called Camacho's Caballeros.
Love
and
it.
they're
I love it already.
Fantastic.
So the 3 primary forms of entertainment are Pueblo music, rock metal, and what's the third one? Oh, country.
Yep.
Sold him already.
There's a trio of books about Camacho Caballeros, and they were one of the first books that I read in the Battletech series, and they're the best ones by far.
Really?
Yeah, they're easily the best books. They're this multicultural mercenary unit ends up working for one of their former enemies, and going on a romp all across the inner sphere solving problems until they finally stop an assassination of the emperor.
I'm gonna be from that.
Okay, so you're from the Free Worlds League. Do they have a other
So
Free
do I need-
Worlds League?
Do I need to write this down? 150 XP is what that costs.
So it's going to cost you 850 plus 150 XP.
What the hell?
So I'm looking
What's
at
the
independent then,
So
right?
I'm sorry. So we didn't get a chance to cover this, Red, but it is written down back on page 52. Regardless of your original affiliation, all characters must purchase a mandatory universal allotment of XP that costs 850 XP. It gives you 100 to each of your attributes, language, English, and secondary language of your choice, and the perception skill. So,
Is that called universal allotment?
universal fixed experience points.
Oh, okay.
It's back on page 52. You should
And
definitely write it down.
this is just for Rad, right?
No, it's for everybody.
Okay.
All characters must start with this.
I
Okay.
need to have a better way of taking notes. That's all right. Are we gonna take a break at any point tonight or no?
We will in about 20 minutes.
Okay. All right.
All
I can
right.
grab
So
my notebook.
this is
Page 52, you start with universal fixed
Page
experience
52.
points.
Alright.
You put
Alright,
100 into all of your
52.
stats. You get to pick a language based on your primary affiliation. You get English, and then you get perception. And
52.
then on top of that, you take your affiliation. So Rad is taking Free Worlds League. And I'm trying to figure out whether
I have independent, I think, right? Since I'm just a mercenary.
there should be one called Mercenary, but I'll look.
I was scrolling down and all I saw was independent.
Do I have to pick my secondary language from the list here, listed in my affiliation?
Yes.
War must purchase a mandatory universal allotment.
I don't know if I can find the intendency of new news.
It
And
says-
his ability to understand these. One of the following homegrown languages.
That says Mandarin, but I thought it said Mandalorian for a second.
All right,
at
let's see.
I mean Spanish. I'm starting to feel very strongly that my character might be Spanish.
I'm just gonna write this down here. Universal. Was it
I mean, you
universal
could even
fixed?
be from this intendency of New Spain. That's just dank as hell. It's amazing. For any people that keep hearing me talk about this mercenary unit and want to learn more about Battletech, the 3 novels are called Close Quarters, Hearts of Chaos, and Black Dragon. They're all written by Victor Milan, and they are incredible. They are very good. The problem is that they're so good, you won't want to read any other Battletech novels because none of them are quite as good.
What was the second one?
Close Quarters, Hearts of Chaos, Black Dragon.
Oh, okay.
Everybody gets drunk and plays Mexican music all the time.
Fantastic.
I know.
Story of my life. Except for getting drunk and playing Mexican music.
Now we know why Rad's chill all the time. He's just drunk.
Yeah. Yep.
All characters use light watch.
Drunk on Mexican music.
So they have plus 100 experience to each attribute, language affiliation, primary or secondary language.
You can't take a sub-affiliation if you want to be from those worlds, Rad, because they're not part of one of the duchies.
Okay, yeah, no, I want to be from the most Texas world. So
The
that you're
Southwest
saying
Trinity.
Southwest Trinity.
There you
The
go.
most
I got it for
Texas
you.
world.
What does that mean if you have plus 100 experience to each attribute?
You should be able to put 100 into each experience thing,
Okay.
right? You put 100 in strength, 100 in a bod. Every
Okay.
100 XP in an attribute gives you a 1 in that attribute.
Okay, so they already have 100 experience in
everything.
the
Yeah,
one you get.
Because you
Okay.
have to start with a base of
Well,
100.
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like, we already have, it's already pre-programmed. Someone already pre-placed it in the
Okay,
thing
excellent.
you gave us. So,
And then
because I already have 100 experience in each of those.
Rad is from the Free Worlds League. He adds language, any secondary, and gets an art skill for 10 XP.
What?
Yep.
Obviously, it's going to be the maracas.
And you can pick from Greek, Hindu, Italian, Mandarin, Mongolian, Romanian, Slovak, Spanish, and Urdu. I don't
So
even know what
where you
Urdu
read
is.
skills there, I get my language, my secondary language, plus 15 XP.
Yep.
What does that mean?
There's a language skill. I assume
Yep.
that I'm going
You
to
get to
add 50
yes,
points to.
you get to pick
Okay.
what language skill you want to add that to.
Okay.
So your
And it-
secondary language is whatever you were raised on locally. So you sound like you wanted to be Spanish, so you would add 15 to language Spanish.
Okay. And then I assume there's a list of art somewhere, or is art just a
I
general?
mean, it's generic. You can
Okay.
pick something like
There's an art skill, I
yeah.
assume. Okay.
You're probably some sort of freelance illustration artist. You don't really do a lot of female and evening dresses, but you do a lot of mecha drawings.
Yeah, sounds about right.
Uh,
I do those kind of like the airbrush stuff that people put on like their 80s vans. Do that on the side of like aircraft and tanks. Cool scenes with like, people holding up battle axes,
of course.
riding
Yes.
on tigers, robot pterodactyls.
So if you want to, you can grab one of your sub-affiliations from the Free Worlds League.
Would I,
no,
though?
sorry, we already determined you can't. You can take
I probably
other
would
Free
not.
Worlds League worlds if you want to buy into that. So you see it'll give you any one trait, 35 XP. You get appraisal, get another language, protocol free worlds, any other skills, and 25 XP towards an attribute trait or language.
That's if I was taking a sub affiliation.
Yep.
And we determined I probably wasn't.
Okay. All right.
Okay.
Next up, EQ. You want to be a mercenary. Let's see here. Minor periphery, major periphery, deep periphery, invading clan, homeworld clan, fuck clan. Jesus. Terran, independent, Comstar. I swore there was a mercenary one. So you're probably an independent.
Yeah, that's what I was.
Okay. I mean, ooh. Oh no, there's mercenary as a sub affiliation of independent. Yep. So you can you pay the 850
Oh,
up
I
front,
see it.
and then you pay 50 for the module costs, and then you take mercenary as your sub affiliation.
Okay, so my total XP then is 150.
Your total XP is 850 plus 50.
850 plus 50?
Right. You start off paying 850 towards the universal, all of the basic skills.
Okay.
And then you pay 50 more for being an independent. It's going to adjust some things. You're going to take negatives
I'm
to
trying to figure out
reputation and wealth.
I'm trying to figure out where I put this in my character sheet because it looks like they've pre-programmed a lot of this.
He airbrushes flames on cars and tanks to make them go faster.
Hey, that totally works.
Indeed. Oh man, I wasn't even watching chat. Soundwave actually found the mercenary affiliation way before I did. Holy shit. Should have been paying attention. Sid, do you know what you want to do?
I was actually thinking I was going to be a member of the Lyran Alliance.
Oh,
particularly...
thank God. I thought you were going to say Comstar and I was going to punch something.
I was considering Comstar.
Do you know if you want to take a sub-affiliation? And
Yeah, I wanted to be from Coventry.
My God. You're going to be British as fuck.
Huh.
All right. I mean, so yeah, you're like German, but also possibly Italian, Scottish, Gaelic, or Swedish.
Mhm.
And I'm pretty sure Coventry is one of the ridiculously... I mean, its moon is called Wellston, so it's almost certainly super British.
Wellston.
Yeah,
Wellston!
it's super
Welcome to
British.
Coventry!
Welcome to Coventry. It's quite fantastic.
Yep,
yes.
there it is. There it is.
Very
That's
much
perfect.
so.
So at this point in the Battletech,
I found Battletech version of Lord Titus.
Yes,
You did.
of course.
Instantly.
In this timeline of Battletech, the Lyran Alliance and the Federated Commonwealth have combined. I'm sorry, the Federated Sons have combined into the Federated Commonwealth. There we go. So they're technically one house. So you are from the Coventry province of the Federated Commonwealth. You're super privileged, by the way. You're the basic white guy that everybody that's of an ethnicity hates in this series. Seriously.
Excellent, absolutely.
Is it called the War of 38 or 39? It's literally just all of the white people versus all of the people of ethnicity. It's the Federated Commonwealth versus the Free Worlds
God, I
League,
can't even remember.
the Confederation, and the Combine. Yeah, where's the fantasy? Oh my god.
Excellent.
Chat,
Yes.
just with that stinger. All right, let's move on to the next part. Early childhood. I mean, for you, EQ, Born Mercenary Brat seems like a pretty obvious pick.
I'm super lost right now.
All right, you tell me where you need to be. And
I mean, I'm still not sure how or where to input any of these costs.
I'm just not looking at the character sheet. Do you think that's problematic?
Are you writing things down?
I am writing things down. I'm just
Excellent.
don't want to look.
As
at
long as you're like,
makes my brain hurt.
I mean, if the character sheet's not working for you, ignore it. Just write notes down and say, I have 100 in strength, so I have this 1 strength.
Okay, I want to understand the character sheet.
I mean, yeah.
I can't help you because I found the character sheet earlier today on Reddit and was like, wow, this looks good. It's the only one that anyone has.
Okay. All right. Well, then I'll start writing things down instead.
I don't know how it works.
So 800 experience.
Plan to
for
write
start.
things down.
850. You start
850 for start, and then another 50 for my module.
Yep.
For start. 50
it looks
for
like
independent
on the character sheet, I already have 100s
module
in all of my attributes.
Yeah, it's already. It looked like they already did the universal.
Yeah,
Okay.
so it looks
pre-plugged
like
in.
the 850 is already spent.
And that's why I was trying to look where do I input the 50. But
I don't know.
I'll figure it out at some point.
Oh yes, I just see where it says total XP 800.
So and then this is page 63. All right. What else? So what do we need to do next, AP?
Next up is early childhood. So for you, EQ, I think you're going to take Born Mercenary Brat because it means you were born in a mercenary unit. You also have the prerequisite Independent Mercenary, which is exactly what you need.
What page is this?
It is on page 65, early childhood.
65. All right.
I want you to note that there are several prerequisites to being a Born Mercenary Brat, which include having a strength, body, and will of over 4, which means by the time we're done, you must have those scores.
So I must have 400 XP in strength and what?
Body and will.
Body and in strength, body and will. Strength, body, and will.
Apparently, being a mercenary does not get you that much edge. In fact, it's a very small amount of edge. You're not very edgy.
Oh. Where do I find how much edge I get?
I've never really been
edge
an
is
edge
a
lord.
stat.
Oh.
Do you know what you want to do with your early childhood life, young?
Where are you looking at early childhood stuff?
65.
65.
Okay,
and it cost me 270 XP.
Yep. And then you fill in all the extra XP boxes that it tells you to do. For instance, you begin illiterate, which means you instead of paying XP, you get 50 XP back for being unable to read as a child.
That's terrible.
Yeah.
I chose a hard life apparently.
Yeah. Yes, you did.
I assume me and my brother were probably like outcasts of some sort, like kids picked up off the street we were probably like thieving and stealing, just barely getting by. And we showed some sort of initiative, some sort of trait or skill to survive.
I
that
mean,
hunger
would you
in
say
the
you're
eyes.
a war orphan? Because that's a background as well.
I was just trying to fit this.
All right. I mean, I thought that you were a born mercenary brat, but if you're saying that your parents weren't members of this mercenary unit,
I
you
see.
could be a war orphan.
No.
Look, even Soundwave's like, that sounds like war orphan. Everybody, no urchins up in here.
Yeah. If I'm born, okay, I see. I misunderstood. Yeah. So mercenaries are like independents, right? They all go about doing their own.
Mercenary
So there's probably like a commune of some sort, of a bunch of, I think like a pirate ship of some sort.
I thought you were born to ham hammers.
Yeah, that's right.
Yep.
Is there?
So
how are we
units,
independent in hammers?
Yes. Independent mercenary means you are part of the mercenary unit. So you didn't grow up on the same planet. You didn't live on the same planet. Every time Hammers need to go to a different planet, they would put you in a ship. You travel with your entire family
With
and
Mom and
everyone you've
Pop.
ever known to another star system. They drop you down. You'd watch all the mechs walk off the ship, and then you go to class or steal food. Apparently, since that's something you really want to do.
No, it's just
You want to wander around the streets during the daytime. You're illiterate because you never go to school because
Apparently,
you don't
right?
live on these planets. Every 2
I mean,
years, you
What
get
is
assigned.
this illiterate? Is that a skill?
It
I
is.
think-
It's
Are there
a,
going to be times
it's a
during this
negative
season-
trait that you take if you're a born mercenary.
I
Blake.
was
You
spying
get
on people
50
too
XP
much.
back for it for being
Arthur's going to
illiterate.
be like, you tried to read that? Roll illiterate. We're going to see.
I'm gonna look
that
it
gonna
up now and tell you what it means because I feel like this is gonna be a thing.
Because that sounds amazing. I
I
need you to do an illiteracy check on that, please.
I mean, there's never been a better illiterate character than Grom Strongjaw from Critical Role because he plays off being illiterate and being unable to count higher than 5 so well. Every time someone's like, what does that say? He has to stop himself from reading it and be like, JX, horse,
moon.
cowbell.
I think that's a moon.
Every time he solves math problems, the rest of the party is like, Grok, did you just do math? And he's like, 7.
There's also a compulsion / traumatic memories.
Oh, there's a lot of compulsions, man. There's like compulsion alcoholism. We'll get in depth. Don't worry about it.
Okay.
All right,
Sounds great.
illiteracy is on page 119. There's also a trait called like Dark Past, where you were like secretly a murderer or a war criminal.
I
And
think
if
I'll
anyone
just
finds out,
I'll just stick with born mercenary brat. And the whole thing was we were probably like trained all of our time. We never had time for like written education because we were going places all the time. They were like, "Here's a gun. Learn how to. This is the only type of education you need."
all right. Here's how literacy works, EQ. You're gonna want to keep this in mind because
Alright.
you do not have a lot of language skill.
Cool.
A character with the illiterate trait cannot read, despite his level of language skills. This may stem from a lack of proper schooling or a mild mental handicap that impairs his ability to easily comprehend the written word. Characters with this trait treat all of their skills where int is a linked attribute as untrained, but only if some form of reading is required.
All int skills, untrained.
Here's the important part.
Holy
Illiterate
crap.
is not opposed by another trait, but instead opposed by any language skill with a level of 4 or better. If you get a language skill up to level 4, you are no longer illiterate in that language. So I highly suggest
need
you get enough in
language
English to get a
skill
level 4.
up to 4,
Oh my
or
god.
else don't know shit.
Illiterate has been a trait on every single one I've looked at so far.
Probably not noble, but you might not have looked at noble.
No, I was not looking at noble.
Sid, I want to jump to you. Do you have a young childhood, early childhood module you want to take? You're muted. He's like, damn, I don't know how
Damn it.
long I've been muted. I've been
I don't know
saying
how
so
long
many
I've been-
things and no one's reacted to any of them. They're so funny.
Of course, I'm gonna have to take nobility.
Oh, of course.
I mean, obviously, I'm Lirin, Coventry. Come on.
Oh boy. I want to point out you get glass jaw, minus
I know.
100 XP. That's why a nobility costs less than most of the other modules, is because you're gonna get punched in the face a lot.
Yep. I
You
know.
also take enemy, minus 200, which I think means you literally have to have me create a rival character to fight you. Let me go double check that.
Awesome.
It's minus 200 too. It's a pretty serious deal. All right, let's see here. Traits enemy is on page 113. Literally just have a rival show up. He's got flowing black hair that's really wavy. He's wearing a super tight suit. He's just like, hello, my rival. Gundam style. All
I
right.
read that as true
Hey,
born
shoot him.
cliche.
A character with the enemy trait has attracted the ire of a person or organization that has influence and will make the character's life a living hell. Enemies of this type are far more powerful than mere childhood or academic rivals, although they may have started out as such. To be worthy of the enemy trait, the enemy must have a level of influence similar to the character's connection, but working against the character. Wow, and you're a noble, which means your connection trait's going to be really, really high, which means your enemy is going to be ruthlessly competent. For creating enemies, provide the enemy's relative experience based on the characters. Holy shit. He's literally exactly as good as you. In gameplay, enemies may interfere with the character through any means available, from bureaucratic disruptions and misplaced supplies to arranging for their transfer or demotion, or even sending hired thugs to attack the character when his guard is down. Oh my god. Good luck being a noble, bitch.
Great. I just handed Arthur a giant
Why,
playground.
why does this feel like Mistborn? Like,
We are
You know.
really bad at this game, and we haven't even
get it.
played it yet.
I get a Moriarty.
And note at the bottom that you get 5 flex XP to an attribute, trait, or skills. Any 4 of them. EQ, we got you solved. Sid, we've got you solved. Rad,
What's the? You start with a 5,000 XP.
5,000.
Okay.
Do you know what level 1 early module childhood mod you want to take yet?
I think I'm gonna do street.
Street.
Raised on the mean streets.
Raised on the mean streets in a dangerous world of lawlessness in the midst of civilization.
I was going back and forth between streets and blue collar.
Oh my god, you picked it because it's the only one that has edge. Mother
Just to back
There
up.
are several with edge.
Just to back up so I make sure that I'm not doing this. Are we picking all of these modules before we assign our XP?
You pay the cost to buy the module towards your 5,000. So far, you've paid 850 for the basic kit. Then you've paid for your Lyran Alliance. Then you pay for this. As you buy these things, you take the skill XP in them and assign them to your traits, attributes, and skills and whatever. It's not going to add up
Okay.
perfectly because the modules don't have the same cost as the things you buy with them.
Right. Okay.
Most of the modules generally tend to
Just
either
wanted to
be-
make sure I wasn't supposed to assign like a pool of XP and then these get added on. These attribute adjustments get added on afterwards.
Nope, they
or-
get added on now. You build the character as you go. So in order to be a noble, by the end of character creation, you need to have 5 trait points in title, wealth, or property. So keep that in mind. So even though you're noble, you might be just a super wealthy industrialist or something by having a lot of property. You might own a small Battlemech factory, or more probably you own like a Battlemech part factory. If you're super wealthy. Super wealthy. Rad, you're street. Okay, great. You're paranoid. You also have an enemy, but he's not as badass as Sid's enemy.
Just some street rat.
Yeah. And
My
you
rival street rat.
note that at the end you have flex XP, you have plus 10 to any 4 attributes, traits, or skills. So on top of adding everything that's there into the XP columns, you also get another 10 4 times. So if you were like, I don't know, I want to be really, really stealthy, you could add 10 to stealth and 10 to streetwise affiliation, and et cetera, et cetera.
One more question.
Yep.
With our house and with our affiliation and sub-affiliation, do we take the fixed XPs from the affiliation and the sub-affiliation, or just the sub?
Just the sub, I think. Let me go and double check that, though. Okay. If you pick a sub-affiliation, you take everything that's in it, and it still only costs the original mod cost.
Okay.
Yep.
Perfect.
And since that's true, Rad, you do need to add Free Worlds League Other as your sub-affiliation. It's going to give you a bunch of extra stuff. That's all the way back on page 56.
There's another category.
You've already paid for it because you bought Free Worlds League as your affiliation. You need to take the sub-affiliation Other Worlds, which will give you more languages and shit. That's where your art skill came from. You sell Battlemech kneecaps? I don't know that most Battlemechs have kneecaps. Maybe the Centurion with its weird armor, but most of them just have joints and shit. All right. I think the next part is on page 70. We're gonna take a break here, though.
Oh, we're not doing late childhood.
We are gonna do. Oh, I'm sorry. You're right. Did we skip over late childhood? Yes, we do need to do late childhood, but we're gonna take a break here for 7 minutes, and we'll be back for the second half, where we keep building these characters and laughing hilariously at illiteracy, which is really we should not be doing. It's a serious problem. Being able to read is hugely beneficial to your education. Stay in school, kids. Don't join a mercenary unit while stealing bread off the streets.
Until you're 18, then make your own choices. Okay.
If
Make your own choices. Live with the consequences. That's all I'm saying. All right.
Raddosaurus, best dad 2017, telling you once you turn 18, he doesn't care if you go steal bread.
Fucking, I'm not bailing you out. That's all I'm saying. Raddosaurus is not gonna come to your local bail bonds.
Back
bail
in
you out.
7 minutes.